Welcome to the 301 show's Target Field Talkers here. Got a great show on tap for you here today. The Buxton and Joe Ryan are looking to be returning from an injury, their injuries here pretty soon. We'll go over the series against Milwaukee and Baltimore before previewing the Field of Dreams game here in Philadelphia. And then the against Philadelphia in Iowa, and then the series against the Atlanta Braves as well. All of that and more here. We'll get into it. If you do end up liking this video, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel as well. Leave a comment down below. You can ask questions. We get into fan questions every Friday, so please leave questions down below that we'll discuss tomorrow as well. So that being said, let's get into the episode.
From the land of 10,000 lakes and just as many heartaches, welcome to the 301 show. We're here to celebrate, commiserate, and maybe, just maybe, see a Minnesota team win it all. Whether you're dreaming of a Vikings Super Bowl, reliving the glory days of the Twins, or still recovering from the Timberwolves roller coaster, we've got you covered. This is the 301 show, where the North remembers and the passion never fades.
So the Twins now sit at 60-62 on the season. They are tied for third in the tied for second in the AL Central. They are tied for fourth in the AL wild card race. Their hitting statistics are they're batting .245, which is 12th, getting on base at a .319 rate, which is tied for 19th. The slugging percentage is .406, which is tied for 13th. The on-base plus slugging is .725, which is 12th. Runs scored is 571, which is 8th. So the offense is actually performing very, very well here on the year for the Minnesota Twins. Again, the fielding is where it gets, fielding and pitching is where it gets a little dicey here. The pitching side, they have a .460 ERA, which is 26th. The WHIP is 138, which is 25th. They have committed 58 errors as a team, which is 13th. Fielding percentage is .986, which is tied for 13th. And then defensive run saves is another stat we're going to continue to look at, which is basically just how many runs that you are saving. It's a metric. Basically, how many runs is your defense saving on average? And the Twins are sitting at -32, so an average defense is going to be 0. They're not saving any more runs than they need to. Again, -32, which is 29th. It is second last in the entire MLB. So the fielding, while the errors and fielding percentage don't look great or do look decent, the defensive run saves is not that great for them. The series against Milwaukee, Kaelen Culpepper made his debut on Friday night in Game 1. That was an 8-6 win. They lost Game 2 4-3. Lost 4-3 in Game 3, but in 10 innings. They then hosted the Baltimore Orioles, where they won 9-5 in Game 1. They lost 5-2 in Game 2, and then they won 7-5 in Game 3. I will say Kaelen Culpepper looked decent at the plate. He got some hits, hit a home run. His first MLB hit ever was a home run. Drove in some runs. He looked pretty good at the plate, but he still looks like he's trying to get up to speed defensively. And again, Milwaukee just is a team that is going to make the defense make plays. They're a very, very good small ball team and just very, very good at having making defenses make plays or make mistakes. So that was part of it, but Kaelen Culpepper, again, he needs to continue to get better defensively for the Twins if he wants to turn into what we kind of expect him to turn into and what we know he can turn into at this point. Looking ahead here, they host the Philadelphia Phillies for 2 games as they are playing at a neutral site, the Field of Dreams game here tonight as I am recording this. They play tonight, Thursday. They have an off day tomorrow to get back to the Twin Cities here and just have a day in the cities. And then they play on the 15th and the 16th, Saturday and Sunday at Target Field. Again, against Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber and the Phillies. Then the Atlanta Braves come to town for a 3-game series, the 17th to the 19th. That'll be another good test for both of these. Will be good tests for the Twins to see if they're actual true playoff contenders or not. Again, Milwaukee is the best team in the league, so this is a very, very tough stretch. Baltimore, who hasn't been great this year, is still a pretty scrappy team, I'd say. But then you get 2 of the best teams in the National League too, with the Phillies and the Braves. But some very, very good news here for the Twins in their efforts to make said playoffs. Jeremy Zoll, the general manager of the Twins, president of baseball operations, whatever his title is, he's the head of baseball operations for the Minnesota Twins. He was quoted as saying, "We're just trying to get a sense of how he's recovering from all of the activities, and then hopeful for activation within the next few days." He did say that, I believe, yesterday or the day before. But basically, the assumption is that Byron Buxton could be playing tonight in the Field of Dreams game against the Phillies, which, again, I think would be absolutely fantastic. Again, anytime you can get Buxton back, just period, end of sentence, is a great thing, much less in a game that is on such a national scale in the Field of Dreams game. Joe Ryan is on the injured list. He's looking to make a comeback. Derek Shelton, the manager, had this quote. He said, "I think we're going to have to see how it continues to progress. But the fact that he's out there throwing is a very encouraging sign. It was a flat ground, but he's still playing catch." So Joe Ryan, again, had the glute issues and wasn't able to throw. Again, that's been bothering him seemingly since the All-Star break, and is maybe part of the reason why he was struggling out of the All-Star break. But he did go on the IL for a glute issue, and he's looking to make his way back again. Like Derek Shelton said, massive step that he's even throwing on flat ground, and he's able to just move his body that way to keep up with the physical toll and the physical demands of pitching and potentially coming back here. And again, I think the Twins absolutely need these 2 players. They need these 2 players to be healthy so that they can make a playoff push down the stretch. Because if these 2 aren't, I don't think there's any combination of 2 players on this Twins roster right now that, if they were hurt, would be more detrimental to the Twins making the playoffs than Joe Ryan and Byron Buxton both being hurt at the exact same time. Excuse me one second. But yeah, Joe Ryan, Byron Buxton. And Joe Ryan, your best pitcher, most consistent pitcher, up there with Taj Bradley. And Byron Buxton, your best position player at this point. I do think it's great, too, that Royce Lewis is back to that, his old self, and seemingly back to his old self. It seems like this team just putting the confidence in him to have him batting higher in the lineup too is helping a lot. I think if Royce Lewis is the type of guy where he thrives on your confidence in him too, and he if you put confidence in him, he's going to play even better. And that is what we've seen. And I looked it up at the beginning of June. His batting average was like a 159 or a 156 or something like that. And right now it's like a 239. It's almost 240. So just the absolute turnaround in less than a 2 month, or in a 2 month span, basically, from when he got called back up from the Saints to where he is now is absolutely fantastic to see. I think him knowing how important it is of a position to play at first base and then second base too, and him having just playing either of that side of the infield is fantastic too. So, yeah, again, Royce, I'll ask this question to you. You guys, if you want to answer it in the comments, does Royce Lewis have his swagger back at this point? And can he be the player that we saw in 2023, which I think was by far and away his best season, most productive season? We'll move ahead here to predictions. Had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 predictions come off the board for this one. I said first one is that Byron Buxton homers in Milwaukee. He did not play in Milwaukee. I thought he might have been off the IL at that point, but he was not. Second one is that Jackson Kowar pitches at least 25 games for the Twins in 2026. They had signed him to a spring training, basically tryout minor league deal. He is not with the Twins. Again, it should have been taken off the board a while ago, so he will not pitch for the Twins in 2026. So the Twins scored 25-plus runs in a game against the Royals and or Mariners, and that the Twins shut out the Royals and or Mariners. They did neither of those things, so there's 2 more incorrect predictions. And I said the Twins and Saints win their Field of Dreams game. And the Twins still can win their Field of Dreams game, but the Saints lost to the Iowa Cubs. Again, if you are a baseball fan, go check out Capital City Saints. It's our St. Paul Saints show where we talk everything St. Paul Saints baseball. So go check that out too if you are interested. We'll move on to the 3 predictions coming on the board here. The Twins win their Field of Dreams game tonight against the Philadelphia Phillies. Joe Ryan wins his next start, so whenever his next start is, he will win it. And then Byron Buxton homers in his first game back off the IL. So those are my 3 predictions coming on the board here today. I do want to thank you guys for watching this episode. Again, please like the video. Comment any questions that you may have down below, and we will answer them in tomorrow's episode. Then also go check out the Capital City Saints for more baseball content, St. Paul Saints content, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.